So you have probably come across the rankings, charts, and those viral social media posts claiming that townhouses in Dubai have dramatically outperformed and crushed apartments over the last few years. And that if you have a budget for townhouse, you should 100% go for a townhouse and shift your entire investment strategy just towards that direction. But the truth is way different from these headlines and posts, because when you look at the past performance in isolation without knowing why it happened, what triggered it, and whether those conditions will actually repeat, you risk making a completely emotion driven decision. And later you'll realize that the conditions will actually never repeat and it's not replicable at all. So that's exactly what I'm breaking down today. Hey guys, this is Salif, and today I'm going to strip the whole conversation basically down to its fundamentals. We're not just going to be doing villas or apartments, which one's better and all of that, but actually looking into townhouses, why they surged the way they did, why apartments recovered, and why neither asset classes is better without any context, especially when you favor in the objective, your budget, and your target audience as well. So let's start from the beginning. Now, to understand what actually happened in the last 4 years, we need to rewind and check 10 years back, because in 2014, Dubai entered a long correction cycles. Apartment prices fell by 36% and villas and townhouses dropped by around 24%. And this wasn't just due to simple supply demand issues. The main reason were the global pressure, oil price volatility, geopolitical pressure, unstable currencies, and on top of that, to add to all of it, we had the DLD fee that doubled from 2% to 4% to slow down the speculation. And this continued all the way up to 2020. And then COVID hit. Prices reached their lowest and suddenly everyone was forced to rethink their entire lifestyle. Work, home space, everything changed. But after COVID, that is when we saw the boom. From 2020 to 2024, apartments appreciated by almost 94% and townhouses by around 123%. And even if you zoom out throughout the whole decade, from 2014 to 2024, apartments are up by almost 24% and townhouses by almost 69%. So yes, townhouses did outperform, but those numbers only tell you what happened, not why, and definitely not whether the same thing will happen again. Now let's go deeper. Before 2020, investors mainly preferred apartments. Why? You had the lower entry price, higher liquidity, better yields, and a bigger tenant pool overall. Areas like downtown, Marina, Business Bay, JVC, and Dubai Hills performed well because they had an efficient turnover and consistent rental demand. Townhouses, on the other hand, attracted a completely different crowd. Families and end users, people who wanted space and the community living also. But in the end, they had lower yields, higher chances of vacancy between tenancies, and required even more upfront cash and capital. But in return, they gave you stability, longer tenancy periods, and overall a better lifestyle in the community. But when lockdown hit, everything flipped. People suddenly wanted a home office, outdoor space, quieter surroundings. Many realized that they could get a 3-bedroom townhouse for almost the same price as a 2-bedroom in downtown. And at that time, townhouse supply was extremely low compared to apartments. So even a small spike in demand caused a massive jump in prices. Add to that the long-term visas, residency reforms, and even family-focused policies introduced by Dubai. Suddenly, townhouses made perfect sense for end users. So let's be clear. Townhouses didn't outperform because they are better. They outperformed because the market conditions favored space, privacy, as well as community living. Now, the major mistakes that a lot of investors make is that they assume that because townhouses outperformed during that period, they will outperform again. That townhouses will keep doubling and tripling year over year. But that's not always true. And right now, more than ever, you need to be very selective with which townhouse you invest in. See, the main reasons are because townhouse prices in many communities have already hit their natural ceiling. The catch-up phase is gone, and the argument that 80% of the supply that is coming is only apartments and only 20%, less than 20% is townhouses, doesn't automatically mean that townhouses will appreciate more, because there is also supply demand and there are also different segments and different audience sizes for each of them. And one thing that I really want to highlight is location matters way more than choosing the asset class of apartments or let's say villas. Because during the same time when townhouses surged a lot, some apartments appreciated even more. Like for example, in downtown, certain 2-bedroom apartments doubled far beyond townhouses. And even on the Palm, some apartment units outpaced even the villas. So yes, if we compare mid-tier apartments, they surely underperformed, when you take to the average townhouses during the COVID. But that does not always mean that the same pattern will continue. So if your agent is telling you that townhouses are the best investment, that's not always the case. A good apartment can beat a townhouse growth, and a good townhouse can also beat an apartment's growth. It all depends on the location, micro location, layout, community, amenities, developer, and so much more. See, apartments rent faster, appeal to more people, and they are easier to liquidate and resell as well. Whereas townhouses give you lower service charges, stronger appreciation in the right communities, but also come with longer potential vacancies and higher capital requirements. So here's the main point. It's not apartments versus townhouses. It's location versus location. If you had bought the right apartment at the same time, you could have made way more than someone who bought a wrong townhouse. So don't fall for these traps. Don't blindly trust past performance. Don't assume townhouses will continue outperforming just because they did during a very unique period. See, the main reason why I wanted to make this video is not because I wanted to degrade townhouses or anything like that. The main reason was because I didn't want you to fall into the cycle of emotional investing based on these headlines and based on the past performance and everything like that. So don't always wait for a townhouse launch, and even if there is one, always make sure to look into it and make sure that okay, there's not thousands of townhouses coming up, the amenities actually make sense, the prices make sense, the capital appreciation in the surrounding communities make sense. So there's a lot of factors that come in. So that's all for this video. Now if you need help comparing the townhouse and apartment options or want to know which is the best one, then you can always contact me on my WhatsApp. It's given below in the description. So that's it for this video. I'll see you on the next one.